Buddy, PT Pop here with my wonderful dog Eli. Say hi, Eli. Hello, Eli. I don't know if you can see him, but he's a wonderful dog. He's very camera shy. He's caught on to me over the years. He's like, I don't want to be on camera. Leave me alone and just take me for a walk. There he is. Bark it up. They're going to both bark. What do we got out here? But this one is about how call centers can completely destroy, absolutely annihilate your professional career. And I say this because since I've worked in call centers for so long, I am unable to find any other type of job now. I have been pigeonholed as a call center person, and I cannot get a response. Even though I've got a background in Excel, Adobe Creative Suite, web design, I can do audio production, I can do all this other stuff. Nobody will even look at me because most of my resume is call center, so it's ruined me. I'm going to discuss how they can and how to avoid it. Number one, a call center is a place where it's mostly just a stopgap job. It's kind of like McDonald's. And if on your resume, all you have McDonald's on your resume, no one's going to hire you in the professional world. It's the same thing with the call center. If your entire background for like 10 years is just call center after call center, and you're just jumping from one call center to another, and you put all that in your resume, or it's just one long stint at a call center, you've never been promoted or things like that, you're just committing career suicide because the call center in the corporate world is considered a joke. It's considered, you got your CEOs and your CIOs up here, you got your middle management, vice presidents, middle management, your drone workers, and then at the very bottom of the food chain in the corporate world are the call center workers. And they're disrespected and not taken seriously. So if that's all you've ever done, you're committing career suicide. Because call center reps, it's known industry-wide, corporate-wide, that most people that they hire in a call center are not exactly top-notch people. Most of them don't have college degrees. Most of them have never made it through college. A lot of people have had really bad, shaky backgrounds. And again, I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just saying these are the people I've worked alongside. These are literally, I just worked with two people that allegedly had worked at McDonald's for 20 years. And their next step up was a call center. Is if you're going to work in a call center and you don't want to commit professional career suicide, and you want to work in the corporate world and you want to move your way up, just stay at a call center for no more than a year. Get in there, immediately update your resume after you've been there about 6 months, and start looking for something else. But do not stay there more than a year unless you have to. Another thing you can do in a call center, keep your mouth shut, put your nose to the grindstone, and try to make friends with the bosses. Be a kiss ass. Keep your nose firmly implanted in the supervisor's butt. Bring them candy if they like certain sports teams. Even if you don't like the sports teams they like, bring them a coffee mug with Green Bay Packers on it, whoever their team is. Start posting out internally, because what you want to do is show some track record inside the call center that you were respected and that you moved up. You went from the lowly call center rep to maybe a collector, or you went from a collector to becoming a salesperson. One way it's going to look on your resume is to show some type of advancement within the call center. But the best way to avoid career suicide, keep your record there short, show some advancement, and avoid call centers at all. If you've got a college degree, 4-year degree, master's degree, it looks really awful to future employees, because they're going to be like, oh, you worked in a call center and you've got a master's degree? And I'll give you an example. I started working in call centers. The first call center I worked in was in 1990, and then I stopped working at call centers from like 1994 until 2001. Then I moved to Phoenix, Arizona. Moved out to Phoenix, and I got a job with Wells Fargo Bank, and I had a pretty good success there. I was there for about 4 years, and I worked in sales. That was completely different. I had complete control of the call, and it wasn't people calling in to complain to me. I was selling a product. But the problem with that is I had spent 4 years there. Then I quit to go back to college, and so there was this big gap in my employment. And then after my college ended, I started going back to call centers. Started going to interviews, and people were like, well, why are you working in call centers all the time? You've got this degree in web design and graphic design. What the hell are you doing? they started to look at me negatively because I worked in call centers. It's kind of a death sentence if it's on your resume too much or for too long. And call centers considered to be like the shithole or the pig pen of the corporate world. It's where all the misfits go to work. It's where people who couldn't make it at McDonald's go to work. It's where the people go to kind of die. It's a death sentence. And if you want to get advanced in the world, you want to advance yourself anywhere else in the corporate world, you're going to have to limit your time in the call center. If you are there, start looking for positions internally to show promotion and moving up. Get your resume together right away. Start looking for jobs outside that company. Keep your mouth shut. Don't talk to anybody. Don't make a fuss. Don't complain about the working conditions because nobody there cares. HR does not care. Your boss does not care. It's just filled with trolls. These drooling, smelly trolls who don't care about you as an individual or as a human being. And I'll tell you this from personal experience, once you've worked in the call centers too long and you've committed career suicide, the only other option you have is to keep working in call centers or to go into business for yourself. If you happen to get an interview with a company outside of the call center industry, this is what they do. They look at your resume and they're like, oh, this is what happened to me in an interview. So Pete, I see here you've got a lot of call center experience. And you've got a college degree? Yeah. Oh, from a high university. I see. Okay. Well, can you kind of tell me, how did you end up working in call centers for so long? I mean, looks like you've been doing this for quite a while. What makes you want to work at our company? Well, I'll tell you what, Pete, yeah. Well, we'll be in touch with you. I'll tell you that. The people in the corporate world, they're not all sharp. Those of you who have never worked in the corporate world and you've worked in a factory or you've been plumbing or something, I bet you most of the people that work in factories or do plumbing have more common sense than the people in the corporate world. A lot of the people in the corporate world they just put on a monkey suit. They've got a degree. They've got the self-inflated ego, and they can't see beyond the thing on the resume. Most of the people that screen the resumes just see call center and they go, well, this guy must be dumb as a box of rocks, so we better not really take him too seriously. So what I would do is try to also dress up your resume as much as you can. I'm not saying to lie or anything, but if you've had any advancement in the call center, make sure you document it. If you've had a certain amount of length of time, document what you did when you got there, what you did when you left, achievements, average handle time, sales met, goals met, anything where you've achieved, write the word achieved or sold, because in the corporate world, they're looking for people who have accomplished something in their lives, not just sat at a desk all day taking calls. So to summarize, number one, if you can avoid it, number one, do not work in a call center if you don't have to. Number two, if you happen to get into a call center, the first thing you got to do, especially if you've ever worked in a corporate environment, is it's going to look like a corporate environment, but it's not going to be a corporate environment. It's totally unprofessional, unorthodox, and you're going to be tempted to speak your mind about how things should be. Keep your mouth shut. Do not speak to anybody. Do not complain. Do not complain about the numbers. Do not complain about your goals. Do not complain about your supervisor. Do not go to HR, because nobody is going to listen to you and they're going to blackball you. They're going to put you in a little box and keep you away from everybody. They're going to make sure you don't succeed there. And I know this from experience because I know of a young lady who got fired that I worked alongside, and I know she got fired because of the color of her skin, and I went ballistic. Not suicidal, murderous ballistic, but I went to HR. I went to everybody I could. I even went to the president of the company, and that was it. They totally thought I was nuts. And so I know from experience, you do not complain, because the people that you work alongside in the call center, especially management and upper management at the call center, they're mentally incompetent. They do not have critical thinking skills, and they are a certain breed of human that is very sociopathic, very psychopathic, something. They're all weird. It's this weird, demented genetic makeup of human being that works in a call center. They do not give a shit about you, your family. They don't care about your dog. They don't care about the color of anything. They'll get rid of you if they can find a reason to. And they all seem to skirt the legal laws, racial laws, employment laws, EEO regs. They'll do anything to get rid of you. And they somehow can bypass all the laws that our country has created to protect employees. So do not complain. First thing you need to do is work on your numbers and try to get out of that call center position by posting out. It's called, that's applying for a position internal, like getting into sales or getting into marketing or getting into, so you can show some type of advancement on your resume. Number, I don't know what number I'm on, but number 3, on your resume, show some sort of type of advancement and show no more than a year in a call center. Because if you get labeled and you get the scarlet letter of a C on you, you're going to be labeled as a call center rep. And people that look at your resume on the internet are going to be like, no, he worked in a call center. I don't think we should bring him in here. Because everybody above a call center level knows that the call center people are kind of like the trolls, the garbage of the company. So keep your mouth shut, keep your nose to the grindstone, work on your numbers, look to get posted out, get your resume together immediately after 6 months. If you make it through 6 months, start looking for a job outside the company so you don't have a gap in your employment. So that's my advice to you. Is the biggest advice I can give to somebody who's corporate and you've worked in a corporate environment like I did, and you're expecting it to be corporate and professional. It is all, they create the illusion of the corporate environment because people are dressed up and some people sit at cubicles and some people are somewhat polite, but they don't have the critical thinking skills of a true corporate person who knows, not to be overtly vocal about politics. I mean, you'll hear conversations in a call center about politics and sex and about race that will just make you want to crap your pants because it's just not orthodox. It's not the right thing to do in a corporate environment. I mean, those conversations are meant to be down the street at the bar or in your privacy of your own home, but you're going to hear all kinds of stuff in the call center. I hope that helps. My greatest advice to you is stay far away from a call center. It is career suicide. It is emotional and mental suicide. It's physical suicide. I have nothing good to say about call centers at all. So I hope that helps. If you like my channel, please subscribe. But I'm pretty sure this can be my last call center video. I'm kind of tapped down on it. There's not much more I can talk about. I could make a video about the goofy supervisors I've had, like the lady that flossed her teeth at her desk. Hi. Oh, that's a good call, Pete. As pieces of burger are flying out across the screen. But you have a good day.